Imagine your home slowly vanishing. The sea does not arrive in a single crashing wave one night. Instead, it seems to breathe, coming in a little higher with each tide, returning each day to claim another small piece of what was once solid ground. For the people who live on the islands of Tuvalu, this is not a distant story or an abstract fear. It is a daily reality, a quiet anxiety that settles with the setting sun. The islands themselves are slender ribbons of coral and sand, sitting precariously low in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Here, families have built their lives for generations, their homes nestled close to the very sea that both sustains and threatens them. The ocean is the lifeblood of this small nation. It provides fish for the table. It provides a cooling breeze in the afternoon heat. For years, the world has been told a powerful and straightforward story about Tuvalu. It is a story of climate catastrophe, a clear-cut case of cause and effect. In this narrative, Tuvalu is the canary in the coal mine, the first victim of a global crisis. The plot is simple and devastating. Human activity, primarily burning fossil fuels, releases greenhouse gases. These gases trap heat, warming the planet. This warming has two major consequences for the oceans. First, thermal expansion. Water warms and expands. Second, melting ice. Greenland and Antarctica pour fresh water into the sea. Together, thermal expansion and melting ice cause global mean sea level to rise. For Tuvalu, with a highest point under 5 meters, this is an existential threat. The climate narrative paints an unavoidable deluge. Tuvalu as the poster child for immediate climate impacts. The message, act or be wiped off the map within a generation or two. The scientific data from global climate models finds its echo in the daily lives of the people of Tuvalu, written on the land, felt in their homes. The most visible sign is the increasing frequency and height of the king tides, known locally as pulaka. In recent years, these tides surge further inland than ever before, flooding low-lying areas, flooding roads, and even the airport runway. It is a saltwater flood from below, not a storm from above. Water seeps up through the porous coral ground, turning yards into shallow lakes, reminding everyone just how thin the barrier between their world and the ocean truly is. This saltwater intrusion has a devastating effect on the country's limited resources. Fresh water is one of the most precious commodities on a coral atoll. Traditionally, it is sourced from underground lenses of rainwater that float on top of the denser saltwater. As the sea level rises and saltwater pushes further into the ground, it contaminates these freshwater lenses. Wells that once provided clean drinking water now yield brackish, salty water, unfit for consumption or for watering crops. For generations, Tuvaluans have cultivated taro and other root crops in pits dug down to the freshwater lens. These traditional gardens are now being poisoned by the encroaching salt. The soil becomes barren, and the crops wither and die.
This pit has fed my family for my whole life and my father's life before me. Now, the salt has killed the roots. It feels like the land itself is sick.
This loss of local food sources increases the nation's dependence on expensive imported goods, creating economic hardship on top of the environmental stress. While the climate change narrative is powerful and well supported, some scientists urge us to look deeper, not just at the sky and the sea, but at the very ground beneath Tuvalu's feet. This alternative perspective does not necessarily deny the reality of climate change or rising sea levels. Instead, it introduces another layer of complexity, suggesting that natural geological processes may be playing a significant and perhaps misunderstood role in the island's fate. Coral atolls are not static, not solid pieces of rock. They are dynamic, living systems that are constantly changing, growing and shrinking over geological time. The central idea is that an atoll's existence is a delicate balance. It is a dance between the rising sea, the island's ability to build itself up, and its tendency to sink. Focusing solely on sea level rise is like measuring water in a bucket without checking if the bucket itself has a hole or is being pushed down. It shifts the focus to a more complex interplay between human impacts and natural planetary cycles. One of the most fascinating aspects of the geological argument is the idea of reef accretion, Coral atolls are not inert land masses. They are built by living organisms. Tiny coral polyps create limestone skeletons. Over countless generations, these skeletons accumulate to form massive reef structures. The visible islands are often just piles of coral debris, sand and sediment washed up by waves and storms. Under the right conditions, an atoll can grow. If the coral reef is healthy and growing vertically faster than the sea is rising, it can keep pace relative to the ocean surface. Several scientific studies used historical photos and satellite imagery to track atoll changes. Surprisingly, while some islands have shrunk, many stayed the same or even grew larger, even as local sea levels were rising. Land eroded in one area but accumulated in another as waves and currents redistributed sediment. A storm that erodes one side may build a new sandbank on another. Healthy vegetation traps moving sediment and stabilizes land, encouraging growth. Atolls are not like a block of ice melting. They are like a sandcastle constantly reshaped by the tide. Beyond the dance of coral and sand, there is another powerful geological force at play: subsidence. This is the gradual sinking or settling of the ground itself. Many Pacific atolls, including Tuvalu, are built atop ancient, extinct volcanoes. Over millions of years, the oceanic plate cools and contracts, and the volcanic mountains slowly sink back into the mantle. The coral reef grows upward to stay in sunlight, while the whole foundation rides a downward escalator. This long-term sinking is natural, but its rate can vary and can add to relative sea level rise. In Tuvalu, we measure two things at once: water level going up, land level going down. If subsidence, 2 millimeters per year, and global sea level rise, 3 millimeters per year, relative rise, 5 millimeters per year. This can make warming impacts appear more dramatic than on stable land. Local human activities can also cause or speed up subsidence. Heavy infrastructure, buildings, runways, can compact soft sediments. Groundwater extraction has a similar effect. Pumping the underground lens can let voids collapse, lowering the surface. In some coastal cities, groundwater-driven subsidence has outpaced global sea level rise. It's a critical local factor to measure and understand. Complex picture: reef growth, sediment movement, subsidence. Land loss and gain are patchy. Understanding local dynamics is essential for adaptation. Seawalls can help, but if they disrupt sediment flow and worsen down-coast erosion, they can cause harm. Faced with this complex web of global risks and local pressures, the people and government of Tuvalu are not standing still. They are pursuing a twofold strategy: pleading for global action and working to build resilience at home. On the international stage, Tuvalu continues to be a leading voice for ambitious climate action. Its leaders know their long-term future is bleak if global sea levels continue to rise at an accelerated rate. They are at the forefront of diplomatic efforts, holding large nations accountable for emissions, securing funding for adaptation and loss and damage. Recognizing the immediate threat of flooding and erosion, communities are building seawalls. These seawalls protect critical infrastructure and residential areas. The government has begun a major land reclamation near Funafuti, dredging lagoon sand to create new higher ground. The aim is to make the island safe from projected sea level rise for decades. These engineering-heavy solutions are meant to buy precious time. Alongside hard engineering, there's a growing focus on nature-based solutions that work with atoll dynamics. Mangrove roots trap sediment, dissipate wave energy, and stabilize the shoreline. a living, self-repairing defense. Efforts also protect coral reefs. They provide fish and produce the sand that builds islands, including pollution control and reef safeguards. Perhaps the most challenging part is planning for a future that may require migration, exploring legal ideas like a digital nation and dignified pathways with partners. These are hard, heartbreaking conversations. The conversation about Tuvalu's future extends far beyond science and engineering. It touches on ethical questions of justice, responsibility, and the meaning of home. If Tuvalu loses land, it's not just territory lost, it's the erosion of a culture tied to that place. For millennia, Tuvaluan identity has been shaped by the sea, the stars, the rhythms of atoll life, their songs, their stories, traditional knowledge, spiritual beliefs, all rooted in land and lagoon. Being forced to move is not just inconvenient, it's risking cultural unraveling. Tuvaluans have one of the smallest carbon footprints, lived sustainably for centuries, yet are on the front lines. Who should bear the cost? Is it fair for those who did not cause the problem to lose their home? This imbalance creates a moral imperative, not charity, but responsibility and justice. The world must listen to ordinary Tuvaluans. They are not passive victims. People ask if we are scared. Yes, we worry, but we also have faith. We teach our children our language and our dances. We will be Tuvaluan no matter where we are. But our hope is to stay here on the land of our ancestors. These human stories must be central to any response. The world's duty is more than financial aid. It's respecting self-determination and cultural integrity. Nations that benefited most from the industrial age have a special duty. Cut emissions, provide strong financial and technical support, build legal frameworks for climate mobility that protect rights and dignity. So, where does this leave us? Is Tuvalu really sinking? The most truthful answer lies in the middle between the simple climate narrative and the complex geological one. Tuvalu's peril is not the result of a single cause, but a dangerous combination of forces. Global human-caused sea level rise is a threat multiplier, worsening natural processes like subsidence and coastal erosion, while local activities can damage atoll resilience.